because I see myself as an artist that went to the military as opposed to an artist that comes from the military. So I did art before the army. I went into the military as a medic because I wanted to do more good than harm. But let me back up a little bit though to like when I did join, I figured I would save as many lives as possible, and worst case scenario, I die. But I was saving people's lives. Like that's a worthy cause. I feel like to die for. And then if I made it through, I would have a ton of things to talk about. But then I got out, found out that I had no clue how to communicate with the world anymore. Like it was, I compared getting out of the military is like separate. It's like a divorce from an abusive spouse. 7 years as a medic, I never lost a patient, which is 90% luck and 10% I was really good. But I got off active duty in 2012, and my guys went to Afghanistan 2 months after I got out. And within the first month, they lost 3 people. And I know one of them I guarantee I would have been the first person to put hands on. And then bringing this to illicit patriotism and identification, please. One, veterans were placed on this unattainable pedestal. We're either these Greek gods that can do no wrong, or we're mentally broken and we're going to run into the woods any second and start picking off sheriff's deputies. His performance was such an easier way to grab an audience. It's so much easier to empathize with emotions when you see somebody literally going through them at that moment. In hindsight, I think it's because I didn't know how to paint something that would convey these ideas of trauma and coping with trauma, and how trauma can radiate from you. Yeah. I don't know how to talk about them, honestly. I mean, I can tell you exactly what they are. I mean, one from Illicit Patriotism, up the weight. I think it's more than 60 pounds. The weight I was taking from the backpacks we carry on forced marches to pass schools. We have to walk 12 kilometers in less than 3 hours without any water. It's about 43 pounds. When you start adding water in, you're supposed to carry 3 liters of water, which comes out to about 21 pounds. So I was trying to get to that. Yeah, that's where I got the numbers for the weights. But I think I overdid it on illicit patriotism. I was trying to make a statement to the politicians walking around that are currently working inside the Colorado State House, the ones that are running to be not only in the Colorado State House but the U.S. Capitol, that they needed to see someone suffering because of their inaction, because of their comments. So yeah, I was trying to walk 22 miles with, like, the first walk with the 43 pounds, I made it 13 miles before the end. The second walk, I was trying to make it 22 miles for the 22 vets a day to commit suicide. I got there at 9 a.m. I was there with Zach Barnes, and we started walking, and after like the first lap and a half, I was really hoping that somebody would get so offended they would knock me out and I didn't have to go anymore. I was like, come on, somebody just tackle me. somebody get that upset that I'm doing this to the flag. And I just kept thinking, like, I can't stop. Like, this is happening. I would say after the first hour and a half, I became completely resolved that I would either collapse or finish. That I also think that's exactly when the heat injury started. It's kind of going slow, and I was taking a break after every lap because the heat I was not expecting. I mean, the day before it was like 75, and the next day it's 108. And that day, up at that point, it was the hottest day of the year in Denver. I think it's been hotter since, but and then I'm like, laying down for a few minutes and just like, trying to get as much air as possible, and I'm fighting with it, and even like the fighting of it, just trying to get it situated on my body so I could carry it comfortably. I mean, that felt like I was physically wrestling with America and who it is. So I'd say after 3 or 4 hours, I probably didn't really have any cogent thoughts. It was just like, all right, I'm walking. I'm gonna keep going. I was stopping every quarter lap around Civic Center Park in the Capitol, just like stopping, taking a few breaths, throwing the flag back on, and keep walking. And so then Ted, a good buddy of mine, this photographer, got there, and we started walking, and this is when shit started going bad. He showed up, and we were on Lincoln and 14th when he got there. And I was just like, all right, we're going to just get to the top of the hill. He's like, all right, so we're almost to the top of the hill, and I just fell backwards. And I just kind of like laid on my back for a second. I'm like, it's cool, I'm good, I'm totally good. But again, that was me just being high on endorphins, and my body was fighting to keep me awake, and apparently fighting to keep me alive. So I was like, all right, the corner of Lincoln and Colfax is that's the 15-mile mark. So let's just get there, call it a day, because I don't think I can go any further. I was kind of disappointed in that I couldn't keep going. I felt like I should have been able to keep going, and I kept thinking about some of the things we've talked about, the reasons why I make art. And it's not just for my own self-exploration, but because other men and women are not here to be able to do what they want to do. And that kind of hurt me in the moment. I even turned to Ted, and I'm like, Ted, am I fucked up? Ted goes, oh yeah, you are really fucked up. I'm like, cool, I'm going to stop, but I'm blaming you when I say that you made me stop. So we get to the hospital, and they ended up putting like, I think 8 liters of saline into me to get me going again. So the doctor comes in and is like, all right, so you have what's called rhabdomyolysis. So apparently my muscles, because of the amount of exertion I was going through, it didn't quite matter how much water I was drinking. The muscle breakdown, the lactic acid buildup that happens in your muscles couldn't wash out because it was happening too fast. So it was overloading my kidneys, and my kidneys were starting to fail. Yeah. I think it was incredibly successful. Because I think it's a great narrative for what veterans are going through. That a lot of times a lot of guys, a lot of people that served in the military will still do the stiff upper lip and do this hyper-masculine stoicism that is not only damaging themselves, it's damaging the community around them. They will drive themselves into the ground before they get help.